How many of you have ever helped your mom or dad cook or bake something before? You have? Okay, great. I love to cook and I love to bake. I especially love baking sweet treats. What are some of your favorite things to cook or bake? Do you have any?
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese? Okay, so that sounds yummy. I'm excited that you guys love to cook because we are actually going to learn to bake something today. And guess what? Not only are we going to learn how to make it, we're actually going to do it, and then we're going to be able to eat it once we're done as well. So I chose Rice Krispie treats because I think that they're delicious and they're super easy to make. Have you ever had a Rice Krispie treat before? Yeah? Have you ever made them before, like helped your mom or dad make them? Okay, that's good. I'm glad that it's something new for you so that we can start fresh and learn something new today. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so an important part of cooking or baking something is the recipe, which a recipe is a set of instructions that tells you how to make something that has a variety of ingredients. So Rice Krispies are something that a lot of people make, and I'm sure that a lot of people who buy marshmallows are making Rice Krispies. So the marshmallow bag actually has the recipe written on it. So real quick, we're gonna go over the recipe that's on here. So it says what you need: 3 tablespoons of butter, which we have a stick of butter, so we have to measure out the butter. And then it says 5.5 cups of jet puffed mini marshmallows, which is what we have here, marshmallows. And we have our measuring cup so we can measure everything out. And then it also says 6 cups of Kellogg's Rice Krispies. So we'll also use this to measure out the Rice Krispie treats. Okay, now that we went over the recipe, we're going to quickly go over the steps, and I'm going to model what each step will look like. And then after we do that, I'm going to have you report back each step, and we're going to write it on the board so that way you have something to look at whenever we do it, whenever we actually start cooking them. So first, in a large saucepan, we're going to melt the butter on the stove over low heat. And then second, we measure out the marshmallows and we add them to the melted butter and we let the marshmallows melt. And third, we remove the melted butter and the marshmallows from the heat, and we're going to measure out our Rice Krispies and stir them in until they're well coated in our butter and marshmallow mixture. And then once that's done, we're going to spray a 13 by 9 by 2 pan with cooking spray so that way our Rice Krispies don't stick, because this is what our Rice Krispies are going to go in. And we'll place our Rice Krispies into this pan and then press it down so it's flat in here with wax paper so it doesn't stick to our hands. And then we let them cool and we cut them into squares and we enjoy them. Okay, now that I kind of modeled, like quickly went over the steps that we're gonna do, I need you to report back to me and see if you can tell me what our steps are, so that way when it comes to making the Rice Krispies, see if that you'll be able to do it. So, for an example, the first step that I said that we will do is melt the butter in a large saucepan. So I might write first, in a large saucepan, melt the butter. So I'll go ahead and write that on our whiteboard here. And then what was the second step that I said? Do you remember?
Let the marshmallows melt with the butter?
Yeah, so we add the marshmallows to the melted butter and we let the marshmallows melt as well. Good job. Okay, so I went ahead and wrote that. Second, add marshmallows to the melted butter, stir and let the marshmallows melt. So what was our third step? What was the third thing that we have to do? After the marshmallows are melted, what do?
Take the marshmallows off the heat.
Yeah, good job. So I write third, remove the melted butter and marshmallows from the heat. And then our fourth step is to what? Once our marshmallows and butter is melted, what do we add to it?
Stir it.
Yeah, and we stir in what though?
Rice Krispies.
Yeah, so fourth, we stir in Rice Krispies until they are well coated in the pan. And then our eighth step is the best step of them all, which is to
make them.
Well, we've already made them, so we're going to eat them. Yes, good job. So we have first, in a large saucepan, melt butter. Second, add marshmallows to the melted butter. Stir and let marshmallows melt. Third, remove the melted butter and marshmallows from the heat. Fourth, stir in Rice Krispies until they are well coated. Fifth, spray a pan with cooking spray. Sixth, place your Rice Krispies mixture into the pan. Seventh, evenly press mixture into pan using wax paper. And the eighth step is let them cool and cut into squares and eat them. Okay, I see that you are cutting the butter. Now I see that you are measuring the marshmallows. Now I see that you are pouring the marshmallows into the melted butter. Good job. Now I see that you're pouring the Rice Krispies and measuring them out. Okay, now I see that you took the marshmallows and the butter off the heat and you mixed in the Rice Krispie treats and now you're stirring them, trying to coat them. Now that we have our Rice Krispie treats and they're done, we are about to eat them. But first, I want to see if you guys can practice how to verbally tell someone how to make Rice Krispies. So pretend that you're talking to someone who has never made Rice Krispie treats before, they don't know what they are, and you're going to teach them how to make them. So, what is the first thing that you need to do in order to make something? Remember, I showed you at the very beginning the thing that was on the marshmallow bag. What's that called?
The recipe. The recipe?
Yep. So you're going to get the recipe and get your what? Your 3 that we use. What 3 things did we use?
Butter, marshmallows, and Rice Krispies.
And what are those called, though? Starts with an I. Ingredients?
Ingredients.
So you get your ingredients. And then, now, in order to make Rice Krispies, what did we do? What were the steps that we followed? What was the first thing that we did?
Melt the butter.
Yep, and then?
Pour the marshmallows in and let the marshmallows melt.
Yep.
Stir it up.
Yep.
Put the Rice Krispies in it. Stir it back up. And put it in a pan.
Yep, and then our last step is? We're done. Yep, we get to eat them. Okay,
Yeah.
Now that we're done, we get to eat them and enjoy them. You did a great job today. Do you think you can make Rice Krispie treats on your own? All right. Are they good?